Great to be with you. Weather Impact Live. Meteorologist Mike Prangley rocking and rolling into our weekend. They're very, very excited to finally share warmer beach weather. So as I go over our weather questions here with you today, the big thing folks were asking about, when were we finally going to see warmer weather at the beach? And it's here. Look at that. Beautiful Jacksonville Beach. Just got off the phone with the daughter. We're making beach plans. We'll be out there here shortly. We got the UV rays that are in the very high range. You see that spring sunshine, the umbrellas out, and that's not for the rain. So the problem is, yesterday we said we had a weird forecast inland. We had the shorts out, the tank tops. And I said, once you get across the intercoastal, you're going to need the hoodies. And sure enough, yeah, my daughter Lauren verified that with her friend yesterday. It was a little chilly at the beach. But today I said, you know what? It's going to be much better, and all of us get to warm up. So as we look at some of the numbers coming in here, we're streaming live at 11:02. And yeah, everything's on track for all of us to warm up this weekend. But we'll talk about a few things. We only have a few minutes here together on our stream show. But we'll start with the beach weather, and then we'll transition into a little bit of fire risk. All right, we got to talk about that elevated fire risk with the dry weather. And then finally, some needed rain. I see some needed rain in the forecast. And we've got some big sporting events this week, including the kickoff, the inaugural kickoff for Sporting Jacks for the men's team on Wednesday. The ladies play on Saturday. All right. And then we've got the Jumbo Shrimp on Friday. So a lot of spring traditions, and it begins with the beach forecast and the Prangley Runner Index. We had 6 runs, no fewer than 6 runs across Jacksonville this morning. So I enjoyed waking up with you as always on Good Morning Jacksonville. Jasmine Monroe, we're talking about playing pickleball, getting the runs in, a 10 out of 10 weather digit today. And that's not just for runners. It's for walkers. It's for just you getting outside. It's for the pets. It's for the dogs. It's for the cats. It's for everybody to get out and enjoy. We take a look at our dog walking forecast, and let's talk about Cooper. All right, that's my Cavapoo. He was with us last night at a restaurant. We had a fun time meeting a lot of folks out there, getting some feedback, and boy, those crab cakes were good. And just enjoyed my family time. But Cooper has some issues. He's wonderful, loving dog, but he loves shopping. So you see, he's got a little cart there. Yeah, he's got his own stroller, and on the weekends he's been liking to go shopping. He just has this penchant for wanting to go out there with us. So he likes going everywhere. We take him as many places as we can. But today I let Cooper know, hey, Coop. And he likes his walks too. I said, we're going to be getting some long walks in today. So we may give up the shopping for a couple of days. That was when it was colder outside. Now it's really spring weather. So Cooper's going to be doing a lot of good walking out there. You look at the dog paws. We got the yellow paw for the afternoon. So just a reminder, we're grabbing the leash. We start in the 50s, highs in the 70s. There's 85. And then we have to make sure the dogs have plenty of water, make sure they have their shady spot. That little guy, he's about 16 pounds, 7 months old, been a great addition to the family, and he'll go 4 or 5 miles. But when that sun's beating down, yeah, even the dogs need a little bit of a break there. So I'll make sure little Coop gets a break on that dog walking forecast. And we enjoyed the Jacks Humane Society as well this morning in our studios and had some fun there. So make sure you check it out on our website there. Spring is in full swing, and we're talking about that extra daylight now. Okay, so Friday, now we're on Saturday, 12 hours, 10 minutes of daylight. And the direct rays, those direct rays of sunlight that gave us the official first day of spring yesterday and the start of spring, are now moving north. They're moving north into the northern hemisphere. So that means, we can feel the effects a lot quicker and a lot sooner. So we were emphasizing this morning that you need the sunscreen, and you need to apply and reapply the sunscreen if you're heading to the beach today. And notice as we get toward June 21st of the solstice, we'll have 14 hours and 6 minutes of daylight. But today, the burn time, 25 minutes. And there's the UV index. This is pretty cool. I looked up the scale. Most folks say, well, the scale only goes, 0 to 10, maybe 11, 12. This UV index actually can get up to something like crazy. It like 100 plus, okay, 150. And that's because it's a UV and it's an ultraviolet index. So they've actually measured this UV index well over triple digits near volcanic eruptions. All right, so the good news is we don't have any volcanic eruptions here on the First Coast. We're not going to go to a UV index of 100. But what's what you need to know, we're at a 7. So we give these scales, they can be deceiving. All right. 7 is a high UV index, a burn time in just 20 to 25 minutes today. That's the key to get out of this. And as we go through the weekend, likely rising to an 8 or higher. And then as we get towards summer here in Jacksonville, we will get the extreme. We go to 10, 11 or higher. Tampa, I remember a few 12s coming in. Key West, I think I've seen a 13. So it can get pretty far up there. All right, so on the scale. But today, a reminder. Now, if you're a runner, I showed that runner index weather digit of a 10. That 7 may not be high enough because what I realized, and after running all these years, runners are even more susceptible to UV rays. Not because we're really necessarily out running for miles at a time in the sun. It's because when you perspire, you actually are reflecting even more sunlight. It's actually absorbing more sunlight into your body. So I always tell runners, and if you're going to the beach, 7, a lot of times I would add 1 or 2. So where does that bring us? Back into the very high range, and the burn time in some respects less than 20 minutes. All right, so just keep that in mind. I know there's some runner sunscreen that's supposed to be really good, but overall the science tells us if you're perspiring, you actually are absorbing more UV rays. And a lot of times in the summer, we get the UV index in Jacksonville of 10, and I think we walk to the mailbox or we walk outside briefly, and it's air you can wear. All right, just keep in mind if you're perspiring, doesn't matter if you have sunscreen, that UV index is a lot higher than what is shown. All right, so it's pretty interesting. I didn't realize that as well. So I try to learn something every day, and hopefully that helps you out. Just a reminder to wear the sunscreen now that we've got those spring rays in full effect. Let's go to the beach. All right, so we're doing a little street level tracking. There's Penman Road off to Lemon Street, one of my favorite places in 70 and Jack's Beach. There's Neptune Beach. We're zooming in on your neighborhood, and there it is. We're going Lemon Street to Midway Street, back up to Ocean Boulevard, and oh boy, we're keeping the energy high because we got the sunshine and we're finally warming up. And you know what? We got a west wind, Neptune Beach. So for that restaurant district, I get so excited about. And oh yeah, Cooper, we'll walk them outside there a lot of times too. We're talking about UV index, high sun rays, but high temperatures finally recovering back near 80. So one of our spring traditions on the First Coast, first we pray it's not cold during our spring break. That doesn't really do too well a lot of times, like we saw again this year. And then we say, well, we're praying for warmer weather at the beach. And finally, the rite of spring is here. We got a west wind finally warming up to 80 degrees. Surf still a little choppy at 4 to 5 feet. And we've been in touch with Captain Alvarez this morning. We've been watching our Weather Watcher page. So page to join on Facebook, First Coast News Weather Watchers. If you love your weather, like our weather team, like I do, yeah, we love talking to you on there. So Bob Eager sending in the picture of the week. We have had some rough seas, small craft advisories. It's just been one thing after another, cold winds, record lows, but not anymore. Bye-bye, bubbles. We're talking about a light chop now in the intercoastal today. The one thing that we have to be concerned about, some spring breakers coming from the north. Sometimes northerners can get in the water when it's in the low to mid 60s. I think most of Floridians, our blood thins out. We don't get in the water as much. I don't think I've gotten in the water when it's in the low 60s, but maybe in Maryland when I was growing up, we'd get in the water when it was like in the mid to upper 60s. We're not quite there yet. But if you're brave or if you like getting in the ocean when it's this cold, keep in mind there's a high rip current risk. I don't want you to be caught off guard. We were talking about the seas coming down a bit, smoothing out, 3 to 4 feet surf, seas 3 to 5 feet, right in that range today. In fact, here's the update. It's really 3 to 4 feet as we look at the real-time data. So that's my forecast as we look at the First Coast Fishing Report. Light chop on the intercoastal, so that'll be nice. And there's the difference. West-southwest winds 5 to 10 knots, and the water temperature, yeah, still a little too chilly. Now, we take a look at our catch of the day. So Captain Alvarez, he's our expert out on the open waters. He's the kind of guy you get out on a boat with, and I'll tell him, well, I need to catch a fish. And he said, well, what kind of fish do you want to catch? So I think one year when I said I need a kingfish, so he knows where to take the boat, where to park the boat, and sure enough, we're reeling in the kingfish within 20 minutes. So he took this gentleman out who he was so excited. He made a sticker for himself. This is something my daughter, we do stickers sometimes on our phone. So there's the trout sticker telling us that the trouts are biting out there and it should be a fun afternoon. So let's look at the 7-day forecast. The rite of spring, will we warm up at the beach? And the answer is yes. We're talking about near 90. as we go into tomorrow and Monday. That's Jacksonville, but we know we're a big area here in Jacksonville. You need more than just a 7-day Jacksonville for. There it is. Let's get the beaches in there. Very impressive. Still low 80s today because that sea breeze is not coming in until later this afternoon. There's 84 Sunday, mid 80s Monday, and really some needed rain. You see the raindrops on there Tuesday? That's a front. And we do drop down to cooler temperatures in the upper 60s, low 70s, but nothing too cold this week. And then we warm right back up into the upper 70s to near 80 by Friday, March 27th. So all eyes, of course. Spring is here. We're looking at the stadium. We've had cosmic baseball the last couple of nights. We've got one more night of cosmic baseball. So if you haven't checked it out, it's something to behold. We're talking about festivities beginning at 4:30 p.m. All right. I think Kodak is going to be in town. Kodak, he'll be at the 5-Star Veterans Memorial Arena. So we got a concert going on tonight. It's going to be hopping to here downtown. So I showed you the beach temperatures. Inland, yeah, beach is going to be plenty warm, but look, we're going to be even warmer here downtown. So come downtown 85. Make sure you hydrate well. It kind of sneaks up on you this time of year. Stronger sun angle. Low dew point still, kind of those leftovers, low dew point dry air from our winter season. We're not really getting that humidity yet, and that can really dehydrate in a hurry. But look at those evening temperatures for baseball, low to mid 70s. Highs today, just don't want to leave anybody out. Pick out your hometown from Nassau County to Putnam County, Clay County, down into areas of Alachua County. There it is. We got mid 80s, and then along the coast, Palm Coast, you're at 81. Fernandina looking wonderful at 80. Jekyll Island, let's go. Golf time. 82. One thing to note on the map there, you got the brunch temperature of 80, but an elevated fire risk. Okay, so we got that extreme drought still going on, dry ground, and that wind's going to whip up out of the west-southwest. You saw that west wind there, and there it is, at times 10 to 20 miles per hour, so keep that in mind. So St. Augustine, one of the hot spots today for events. I shared downtown. Well, you've got the Seafood Fest going on, and it's just delightful out there. Temperatures rising to 80 degrees and then near 70 even this evening. San Marco Beer Fest, it's all about the dog race, and I may be out there. 3 o'clock, it's going to be fun for the dog race, but it begins at 1 o'clock at Ballas Park. The San Marco Beer Fest, a lot more than beer for sure. Very pet-friendly venue, and they've got these big gift baskets if you win the prizes for your dog. So that's what I'm interested in. I want some gift baskets. All right, we got 82 at 2 o'clock. There's the dog race at 85. So make sure the dogs have big bowls of water and lots of treats for the end of the run. I think they're just short races, so that's good. That'll be a lot of fun. And then as we look at travel weather, a lot of folks are still on spring break, and they've got plans to Orlando, or they're coming back from Orlando. It was rough down in the Keys and the Bahamas for much of spring break down there, so you weren't missing anything if you stayed at home with that cold weather here. So you got 80 in Miami, 82 Orlando for the theme parks. Tampa, where we're cheering on the Gators. Congratulations. They won last night and looking good for the entire weekend in Tampa. The one thing to make out, our weather tidbit today, I always try to leave you with some. We got 79. How's it cooler in Tampa? Why are we 7 degrees warmer? Oh, yeah. Yeah. They're near the Gulf Coast, and you get that west wind off the cooler Gulf water. Okay, that's kind of their sea breeze effect. So today we don't really have that sea breeze off the ocean, but Tampa, they got the sea breeze, all right, the Gulf breeze. So they're going to be a little cooler, but 79, very nice in Tampa. We take a look at rainfall. So coming up, we are taking a look. We went over the warm temperatures, including the beaches here on Weather Impact Live. Coming up, we found spring. Now we're going to look for spring showers, and sure enough, models are showing a little better agreement that we'll get at least a few beneficial rain showers. We'll take a look at those rain amounts and take a look in the long range to see if this trend is our friend. We'll be right back. We only have a few more minutes. Stay with us.
That is the Protector.
This truck is a beast.
It's got all the tools on it. I love how big the tires are.
And this is going to be able to show you the weather around the first coast like you've never seen it before.
The Protector really is going to help protect the community.
So you can see what it looks like on the ground. And that allows folks to really take action and do something about it.
And it gives us that edge in continuing to be the most accurate weather team.
Sponsored by HananiahAutos.com.
I'm Keitha Nelson. Good morning, Jacksonville anchor and mom of twins, Journey and Trey. I'm on your side, getting you out the door and off to a great start. Make the move. So Good Morning Jacksonville on First Coast News. Weekdays from 4:30 to 9, anywhere you watch.
First Coast Living Live.
Bringing you closer to the tastiest food.
The best shopping.
And family fun.
Jordan Wilkerson and David Benfield. First Coast Living, live, weekdays at 11 a.m. only on NBC 12.
We have new details about a heavy police presence in Jacksonville Beach.
Driver fired gunshots along the interstate today, prompting a police chase.
Stream extended coverage on First Coast News Plus.
The First Coast News weather team is here to deliver your most accurate forecast with weather impact alerts to warn you about severe weather and up-to-the-minute information on First Coast News Plus.
The wave of moisture rolls its way on in here.
Our team is the most equipped and experienced to help you prepare and keep you safe.
The First Coast News weather team is always on your side. Stream extended coverage on First Coast News Plus.
My mission is to help you get to where you're going safely. Whether it's helping you beat the backup on 95 or navigating the slowdown on JTB, we've got you covered. Make the move to Good Morning Jacksonville on First Coast News. Weekdays live from 4:30 to 9, anywhere you watch.
I sound good. Yeah, having fun here on our Weather Impact Live. And we said, yeah, I got to get out to see the people. I mean, I'm making plans with the daughter and wife. They said, are you done yet? Well, I'm almost done. Hang in there. Yeah, I got to get out and experience the weather, take observations, and yeah, it's time to get outside. You got the forecast; it's gonna be beautiful, but there's some issues. Folks have been asking about rain, so that's going to be one of the questions when I go to that doggy race in San Marco today. I said, well, we'll get a few showers this coming up week. I would still make sure the plants are watered. Make sure you follow the watering rules across the area. But overall, I do like our chances as we head into, especially later in April and May when our rainy season kicks in the summer. We may go from drought to deluge. I mean, that's what it's looking like in the long range. For now, we're heeding all warnings on the burn bans, elevated fire risk. We've got the extreme to exceptional drought. I mean, that just doesn't happen much out toward Valdosta, but all of us right now in that extreme drought with 15 to 20 inch rain deficits. And the rain may not be that impressive this week, but this will still change. This is just an average. Hopefully we get some of the heavier blues you see up towards central Georgia and I-16 a little closer to home. So for now, about a 1/4 inch of rain on the way this week as that high pressure bringing our beautiful, warm, toasty weekend moves south. We'll have the front that will continue to move south with it, and we're going to have our next rain chance with that backdoor front. That again would be Tuesday afternoon, and that onshore flow really helping us there. And I don't think we'll need the protector, as you saw, the protector. I don't think we'll need it. I don't think we're talking about severe weather or anything like that. But here's what I'm excited about. All right, we're talking about, we probably may need the protector come as we go into May and June, because this is a telltale sign of a much more active weather pattern that includes heavier rain, likely above average rainfall, and maybe an increase in some of the severe weather. Okay, so we're talking about that pattern change that we need. We need this La Nina pattern kicked out. Enough's enough, and we are heading into more of a neutral pattern. So you hear about La Nina, El Nino neutral. It's just one of the tools we use to forecast. And, don't downplay La Nina or El Nino. You sometimes hear that. You hear, oh, it's just one thing they look at. No, it's not. It happens over the Pacific Ocean. Most of the globe is made of water. All right. We're made of mainly water, right? 70%. And what is the biggest ocean? The Pacific. We need to know what's happening in that body of water. So big time. All right. So we're getting out of the La Nina pattern, or the cooler Pacific Ocean waters. We really track it right down there south of Hawaii in the equatorial Pacific. So we're watching the winds, what direction the winds are blowing, just like it forecasting today here at home. And those trade winds are weakening. All right, they're really weakening. So all that warm tropical water that's usually found out toward Indonesia, all right, that's going to start to slosh off to the east. All right, and notice how much weaker those trade winds are in the Pacific Ocean. That does some funny things to the jet stream. It does a lot of funny things to the weather pattern. And all of that cool water off South America is replaced by unusually warm water. And when that happens, you can get a lot more wind shear there, a lot more thunderstorms happening closer to South America, and a lot more wind shear by the time you get to the Caribbean and the Atlantic. See what I'm getting at? So that would be a good news for a pattern change. And if you look at what it does to the jet stream, we got a tropical flow, more wind shear, sometimes more severe weather. Yeah, sometimes fewer storms in the tropics. We're going to talk more about that. But notice the wetter pattern likely to develop with the El Nino that's supposed to set in possibly as early as this summer, just in time for hurricane season. So coming up, We're going to stream here for another 7-8 minutes, so about 10:30 here. So grab a quick snack. I'm going to meet you back here in about a minute. We'll talk about hurricane season. 72 days to hurricane season. We know the pattern shifting to El Nino, maybe a super El Nino, and what it means for our hurricane season. All right, that starts on June 1st. We'll be right back.
The First Coast News Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Had the umbrella in the back seat, the rain jacket ready to go.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
Let's get some breaking news we've been following overnight.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. First Coast News Plus, complete coverage of your local news, weather, and more.
We have new details about a heavy police presence in Jacksonville Beach.
Driver fired gunshots along the interstate today, prompting a police chase.
Breaking overnight, police are investigating an officer-involved shooting.
Breaking news, a major crash on I-95.
Routine controlled burn got out of control. First Coast News was the only station there.
Stream extended coverage on First Coast News Plus.
Let's go, Jacksonville. I will see you soon. We're getting out of this dark room here, First Coast News, and I'll see you outside because we got sunshine near record highs by tomorrow. 86 on our Saturday, 89 Sunday. The big difference, even the beaches warm up thanks to that west wind. You notice no rain in the short term, at least yet. That's not until Tuesday. Water temp anomalies. We're talking about a big change in the Pacific Ocean. You see the warmer colors. We're running 1-2 Celsius above average. We look south of Hawaii. Look at that arrow. Follow the arrow. Here it is. We're talking about above average water temperatures now as that warmer water is going to slosh east. So the graphs are telling us, a big thing to make out of this. It's tough to read in a short period of time. When you see the red graph going up like that, that's a 70-80% chance of a La Nina changing over to an El Nino. So if you look at the graph, the little tiny blue line would have been the La Nina that we saw kick in very late in the fall. And then it's basically disappearing, right? And we're going to neutral where you see the gray bar, neutral as we go into April, and then the red bar takes over. There it is, the El Nino, a high forecast probability. And as we look at the average timeline, really setting in toward the peak of hurricane season as we head into the middle of August. So a lot of information there. But what you need to know, we do sometimes have active El Nino tropical seasons. So don't let your guard down. We said we look at more than one thing. Of course we do. And this matters, though. We look at the whole big picture and notice the last time we had an El Nino this strong that's likely setting in, we had the fourth most active hurricane season. Not good, right, Malcolm? So we look at the water temperatures and we are running closer to normal, closer to home. So this is not the setup we saw in 2023. Still, you have above normal temperatures in the Caribbean and parts of the Atlantic. But this time, I would still say the El Nino would override the water temperatures and we could have possibly a quieter season. So here's the list. In case you're wondering, the first name system, Arthur goes off to Bertha, Edward, and Marco. That's interesting. And last year we got to the M storm. Hopefully this year we only get to the K storm. Not even the K storm, maybe the H, but that's probably wishful thinking because even in an average year, over the last 30 years, keep in mind, it's 12 named storms, 7 hurricanes, 3 major hurricanes. But again, that's just for the last 30 years. The trend continues to go up. All right, we take a look at the forecast planner. As we come back, here's to a quiet tropical season that doesn't begin until June 1st. We'll keep you updated on that. But if you're joining us here on the streaming show, wrapping things up with a beautiful weekend, spring break, better late than never. 86 Jacksonville. Hey, look at Mandarin, 87, but I put a court temperature on there. Jasmine and I were talking about pickleball today on Good Morning Jacksonville. I said, just keep in mind, it's going to be 97 on that asphalt out there. So as we look at Veterans Park, one of the venues, and if I'm playing pickleball today, I'll probably, after our San Marco event, I'll be out there probably closer to evening. Maybe I'll work off some dinner and then we'll watch those temperatures. Maybe a little cooler there. You saw, well, that was wishful thinking. You saw 74, 66. If you're at Veterans Park at 4 o'clock, it's likely going to be like 86, 87 with that on-court temperature of 97. There's your update on that. So pickleballers, the main thing of that forecast to get out, it's going to be sunny. It's going to be hot on the courts. And then the better time for pickleball is earlier in the morning, then later in the afternoon. And if you're playing in the middle of the day, just make sure you have your water and sports drink out there because record heat is coming in. Near record heat, 89 is the forecast Sunday, Monday, 90. And notice we're within a degree, so we'll watch that. The reason why I think the models are underdoing some of the temperatures, and you may say, hey, why is my phone not saying it's going to be that warm? It only says like 85. You're saying 89. Well, it's just a phone. So we do our forecast here by hand based on experience. And when you get an extreme drought here in Jacksonville, my experience is the models underdo those temperatures, and the ground is very efficient at heating. That sunlight goes right to work. It's not evaporating any moisture whatsoever. So it's like a desert effect. So I may have gone too low. It'll be interesting. 89, 90, could be even hotter. How's that? All right, take a look at the fact of the day, new USA March record high. We shared this on the streaming show yesterday. Malcolm, we said it was 110 out at Martinez Lake, Arizona. Apparently yesterday, we're just trying to get some confirmation. This record's history. It's gone. Lasted a day. I mean, this is amazing. So 112 was reported out west yesterday. And if you're wondering why it's going to get hot and we're going to feel more like May as we go into the next few days, that's that heat dome building to the east. And as that builds to the east, we are going to start to feel those temperatures rise. And I'm going pretty quick here as we have another 30 seconds or so. This week, we don't see any cold weather, no frosts or freezes. Let's get to the home opener for the Shrimp. Play ball, 78 degrees, Friday at 7:05. Futurecast showing, yes, this warmer, tranquil pattern likely to hold as spring has sprung across Jacksonville. Tonight, one change, a little patchy fog, and then tomorrow back up near 90. And then check this out. As we go through the week, 10-day forecast, we've got soccer going on too. So maybe a little bit of rain, scattered showers Tuesday into early Wednesday. But for Sporting Jacks, the debut for the men team, it's Wednesday at Hodges Stadium. Looking wonderful. Let's get right to that forecast as we leave you. And yeah, it's looking like temperatures into the 60s. Great soccer weather. And of course, the ladies play, Sporting Jacks ladies, great out at Hodges Stadium. That'll be next Saturday, not this Saturday, the following Saturday. So great sports, great weather, happy spring. Time to come see you. Have a great afternoon.